and it leads you onto the bottom level.
Bonfires. There are only 2 bonfires in this game that I can never find, and it prevents me from going to New Game Plus, since I have to full clear before I go, and that was one of them. I'm halfway there. Only 1 more bonfire.
Yep, and then it lets you out. The bonfire lets you out just to the left of where the bird chick was. Hey, bird chick, what's up?
Did you find the bird?
Yeah, she was right next door.
Oh, we meet again, kind traveler.
She got all the look like statues in her place.
Shop in your tongue. I believe I would be called a blacksmith. I create all manner of equipment using an ancient technique unique to my people. Normally, I only cater to a very select few. But I have a debt to you. I will craft one thing of your choice.
What do you know about the story so far?
I am certain that they will please you. I require no payment this time, but you must bring me a wondrous soul. My technique absolutely requires it. I trust you will understand.
That's basically it. What it is people turn undead, and there are all these stories. This is just my speculation. All these stories that 𝐥𝐤𝐤𝐞 has all these souls and power that can help you fight off the hollowing. And so people come here, and they get more than they bargained for, and then they go hollow and forget everything anyways. The source of people forgetting who they are and all of that is the curse of the undead, going hollow. Well, not exactly. It leaves it almost completely open who your character is and why it's here. Like, if you want, you can roleplay that's the same character. That's what I do. My character is the same one who kindled the bonfire in the first game. In my story, anyways. Yeah, you can come up with your own character's backstory. There's not really much of a limit on it. But one thing I didn't like is how in the first cutscene, you, or what is assumed to be your character, is a white Caucasian male. And he appears to either have a wife and a child, or a mother, or a memory of your mother holding you as a baby. But my problem with that...
What if you didn't make a white male character?
What if your mother doesn't... Yeah, and what if you're a woman? Or what if you never knew your mother? Or what if your mother never held you? Or what if your mother doesn't look like that? And stuff like that. And then when you fall into the things betwixt and you get to character creation, before that point, you are male.
Yeah.
Like if you take off the rags and everything, your character is male. But then you look into the...
effigy and suddenly become female.
Yeah, and you see your true self in the effigy and become female. That kind of stuff just doesn't work for me.
Yeah, they should have really made it once, like, before you saw your character, you found the witches, or maybe you did character creation first, before the cutscenes kicked in. That way you looked like how you look.
That would have been badass if you could have been like a New Game Plus and have all your armor on and be in that cutscene. You know what I mean? Imagine like having the high knight armor and falling down in the rain and all that stuff. That would have been pretty cool.
Okay.
And that's another thing I like about New Game Plus, is it opens up more roleplay potential because you start out with your armor. So you can cosplay as like a Hyde Knight or something, trying to, I don't know, find yourself, redeem your honor, and all that kind of stuff. It's just an interesting dynamic, but still, I would not be caught dead making a female character in this game. That's just too weird for me. I can't wrap my mind around it.
All depends on how you play RPGs, I guess.
Well, you could just roleplay it all away and just ignore it. Like the beginning cutscene could just be like an example of another undead. You know what I mean? And it could just be like the memories of another undead that the game's just showing you. And the game really begins with your character when you create your character. You know what I mean? Like, you could definitely make it work, but it's just annoying that you have to. Have you actually come up with a story for your character?
No, I've just been going on by what the game tells you.
Yeah, that's what most people do. And most people didn't even realize what the story was about in the first game. They just saw stuff and killed it.
It was definitely sparse, I will say that. But I did like that opening cutscene, though. That was badass.
Yeah. That was like the beginning of the world story or whatever. In the beginning. Now, the Dark Souls 2 ending and story, in my opinion, is inferior to the first game's story in almost every way, except it's a little bit easier to find. Like, you can't just play the game and miss everything. It'll give you some story. Enough to go on. But other than its accessibility, it's worse in every way, in my opinion.
It does seem a bit, I would say, less hardcore, a little bit more easier than part 1. I don't know if it is or not, because I didn't play all the way through part 1. Maybe, you know, I gave this one more time, but just my initial first impression of it, this one seems a tad easier. Like, after the Fireline Shrine in part 1, when you got into those first area and the second area, I remember losing at those boss fights like 10, 15, 20 times. You know, and even dying just getting there, you know, things like that.
Well, the thing about it is, it's both easier and harder. Like, you can't really compare the games if you've played the first one and you've gone to the second one. You already have experience with it, so of course this one's going to seem easier. But there are places in this game that are harder and places that are easier. And the game is kind of made to be more accessible, so new players can get a foothold. But New Game Plus is where it really starts getting hardcore for the hardcore players who like their challenge. Or at least I've heard. I've also heard the New Game Plus is a joke.
You said you only get a limited amount of Dragon Balls to level up boss weapons, right? So if I pick one to level up, then that means I have to level up one weapon, not two.
You can level up 2 weapons. You just won't be able to get them to max level unless you either get lucky drops or you farm an enemy that drops them.
Okay. Because I got 2 weapons that I want to use as my primary weapon. One of them slows enemy movement and the other one absorbs HP. But the base damage for the one that slows enemy movement is 84. And the base damage for the one that absorbs HP is 120.
The slow enemy movement thing, it has like a special ranged attack, and if you're going to use it for slow enemy movement, you don't really need to upgrade it. You just need to have it to use that special attack and then switch to your primary weapon.